Okay, let's see here. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, that still works. Okay. Got here a lot later than I had planned, so I don't quite have everything set up yet, but okay. Everything sound all right? Okay, let's do this here. Okay, we need more mic. Okay, how's this sound? Is that better? Okay, cool. Let's try the control here. Okay, cool, that's working. See if this works. All right. I built this yesterday. I was streaming over on YouTube. And we're going to be modding another NES. This is obsolete, so we're going to take this off for now. I think it's pretty cool. I like it. Oh, you like that? Yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and I've got. This is kind of a preview of. I'm waiting on a couple more parts to come in. But yeah, this is you know, I figured I had to match it, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to building this. I've also got one for the N64, and I should have I ordered a custom badge for this. So let me make sure my scenes are working here. Okay, cool. Should be a good zoom in there. And then there's nothing on this one, but okay, cool. All of that's working. Well, let me grab Snick's NES and we'll get started. Oh, it's right here. So I got a big bag of capacitors, some screws, and an NES. Hey Drake, how's it going? Okay, so first let's start off with the NES. As you can see here, we've already done some work to it. We're going to end up replacing this 32 or 72 pin connector here with as soon as I find it. Here somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't have any really nice animated disassembly things for you guys tonight, so no chainsaws. Well, we are modding an NES with a Nintendrawer, which I'm about to open up. Cannot believe you guys let him do that. So, this is the Nintendrawer. This is the heart of all of the problems. This guy right here. Heart of all of the problems for the NES. So we're going to replace that with this guy. Ultros, we do not speak of that here. I am extremely disappointed with everybody who just allowed that to happen. And I just took this thing apart. I don't know how it comes apart. Uh-oh. I already broke it, Snick. We do not the pins. Okay, so this is the Nintendrawer. So this is pretty nifty Cheeto. Oh, I'm in the wrong scene, sorry. So this is what we're going to be installing. We're also going to be, like I showed earlier, we're going to be recapacitating. We do not the X here, Ultros. So this thing is pretty cool. I showed this off yesterday, but there wasn't a lot of people watching yesterday, so I'll do it again today. So this is kind of how it works, right? So the original NES, this is your 72-pin connector, right? And this is the cause of all of the problems in this thing. So the way this guy works is plug your cartridge in, and whenever you push down, it's supposed to make contact with the pins, but it's not really good at doing it. Okay, and these little guys in here, they get kind of bent, corroded over time, and we've got to replace that. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace it with the Nintendrawer. Now, basically what this does is it converts your NES into a top loader, but from the front. So instead of having a zero insertion force socket, which is what this is, because there's no force, right? When you plug that in, there's no force whatsoever. And when you bend it down, that's what makes contact. Kind of like the processor in your computer, that little lever you put on. This actually requires some insertion force, like a top loader, like a Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64 or top loading NES. Trisk, we do not the mister here. So when you push it in, it's like that. Now the blinking light win is the same thing here, but the blinking light win has two problems. Number one, the big problem with the blinking light win is, well, you can't get them anymore. They were great. They were like 30, 40 bucks. Wonderful things. You can get replacement 72-pin connectors, but they suck. But yeah, Trisk, we do not the mister here. So this guy is kind of like the blinking light win, but the other problem with the blinking light win is when this is installed, it's kind of a pain in the rear, really a pain in the ass, if we're being serious, to pull it out. Okay, so you have to put a lot of force, and you only have that little tiny area to grip with, because remember, the tray is here, the door's up there, none of this is actually exposed. This solves that problem by, there's a pair of magnets back here that when you pull this, when you push it in, the magnets engage and it holds it in place. When you pull it back, it comes out to a certain point, then it stops here and allows you to pull out, which is just super nifty Cheeto. So insert, remove. Now these are kind of pricey. They're about 60 bucks because they are a lot more complicated, but we'll see how well it works. I've already put one in for obsolete, and this will be the second one, and I have one that's going to go in the purple shell build. Let me show off that again. Hi creeps. So this is the purple shell NES build that I will be doing soon, to go with my atomic purple controller. So this thing is beautiful. The camera does not do this justice. So yeah, we will have an atomic purple. But yeah, this is obsolete's NES here. And this is the one we did last night. Now I'm going to come back to this because this has a problem with the PPU, and it may be dead. It's not dead, but I was getting really weird sprites and stuff, so we're going to have to look into that. So, but this is Well, I'll certainly build one. If anybody wants one of these purple shell ones, I will build you one. They ain't cheap, but it'd be cool. So you can see the Nintendrawer in here, and we press that in, push it in. It's good to go, and pull it out. It moves real nice and easy. You can hear the magnetic clamp in there, and then we now see how I've got enough grip space here to actually pull it out. So it's a pretty nice mod. A lot of people are happy with them, so definitely a good thing. So anyway, let's get started here, shall we? So we got Snicks. NES, and we're going to get started with that. And we're going to clean this up, and we're going to recap it. You know, Luthon, I should have put that in there. That's on me. So, let's get back to this here. And, so, the disassembly, we've already done the first part of this, which is removing the top. For those of you following along at home, you have to remove these 6 screws here. Just a Phillips screwdriver, easy to do. Anybody can do this installation, by the way. There's nothing special to do this. Even the capacitors that we're going to do, super easy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. We're going to clean this up in here. We'll go back, bring that up. So there's Snick. Okay, let me move that. Okay. And no, Trisk, you can't do that. You can't say that. It is not fine. So now we've got to start removing that. So anyway, also cool atomic purple controller that I built yesterday. So we're going to remove these screws here. Got this one that comes out. I was going to text you earlier, Snick. I saw you on TV. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, how's everybody's week going? So I'm just kind of taking all of this stuff out. Oh, that's fine. Too slow. I'm ready for... You know what's fucking sad about my life? A lot of things, okay? But also, Snick, I've got you a bag of goodies here. We got a bunch of capacitors we're going to put in there. I don't even care about the weekends anymore. I don't really do anything. Sneed was out. Well, you looked very good. I wasn't listening. I was out at the transmitter building. Okay. And then we've got these 6 screws. These screws here are going to be discarded. We will not be using them going forwards. It depends on how far you want to go with it, Drake. Oh, J-Derg, what's going on, man? Check this out. I built this yesterday on my YouTube channel. By the way, I'm streaming on YouTube right now. And if you aren't following me over there, please go follow me over there. Yeah, check this out, J-Derg. And to go with it, it's kind of hard to see here. Let me. It's purple. You don't do anything really. Yeah. I actually got quite a bit of spending money right now. Well, it's money set aside for the Corvette, so it's not really spending money necessarily. But yeah, Drake, I mean, there's a lot you can do with these. You can get a RGB kit for them. Those are real blocks. In fact, look at that, very real block. We should paint this sometime. Oh yeah, installing that stupid RGB mod sucks getting the PPU out, but well, I may have to replace a PPU on obsoletes. Well, I mean, I can build you one, or if you just want a working one, you can probably just buy one from Ralph's or 806 or something. Okay. So, one of the things we're going to do here is we're going to clean this motherboard starting out. Oh, yeah, Wii is terrible. God. One of these days I'm going to do one of those on stream, but today is not the day. Okay, so I'm going to remove this motherboard completely. So, there's a couple of connectors under here. You have to be real careful when you remove these, because this the RF shield will cut the ever-loving shit out of you. Yeah, I haven't been in Discord much. I'll go check that out. Okay, so that's the power reset button and front LED light. This is controller port 2. This is controller port 1. Now, typically, when you're doing this, you don't have to remove these, but we're going to do a complete cleanup of this thing. Now, Snick, I don't know if you're still here, but this is something for you to consider, because this shell is basically so here's an issue here. And the front of this is kind of warped. I don't know if we can see it or not. Yeah, you can see it kind of good there. But we may want to do a shell on this thing, and I may have a better one. for you. But yeah, I've seen that Star Trek Lego set, and my only thing is, I think it's like $500. I mean, I didn't see your link; I saw it elsewhere. So, in order to do the Nintendrawer installation, it's super easy. Once you remove those screws, this just comes right off, and this is your tilt mechanism in your drawer. Okay, and kind of how this works. It's kind of cool. It's got this little cam inside of here, and you can see there's a pin that kind of rides in that cam, and it rotates over, and then when you come in, it goes up one way, goes to the center. When you press back down, comes back. I have no idea. I will say I didn't do it. I haven't broken anything yet. So that came that way. But anyway, this we're discarding. I'll give it back to Snick, but we won't be using it anymore because we're replacing it with a Nintendrawer. So this is the replacement here. It honestly, dude, it's probably been dropped at some point. That will cause it. I mean, these things are built like tanks, but they're not indestructible. Because it's also got... So, this was broken here. And you can see the other piece, and we'll fix this. It's still in there. It's right here. Under there. So this is a replacement one I've got. This is a brand new one. So the color's a little bit off. Of course, the color's a lot better than it was after we retro-brighted it. And this kind of cleaned up some. And I'm going to try to clean this some more here. But we're never going to... This part's never going to look perfect because of how it aged differently. Well, this is Snick's childhood NES. So... But I could also give you another door off of another donor system if you want that. Thanks, Jader. Yeah, so I'm using vMix, which is an alternative to OBS. This is, I guess I could technically be clocked in since I'm learning this for work. But it's really cool. I've got... It basically is OBS, but it does more. So I'm controlling everything here from the Stream Deck. So I can bring up my different scenes. And what's really cool is you can see I have a live preview of each of the camera scenes on here. So we can go there. The blue box is just my capture card. I'll bring that full screen. You can see the no signal. And this is the one where I've got the overlay. Let me turn that off real quick. So you can see the background there. So we can do that, and then I've got these full screen ones here. So I can turn my ticker on and off, and I can add a bunch of those. And then we can go here so you can kind of see full screen. I have some stuff here that I haven't set up yet. So this is vMix. Is the app, and it's basically a replacement for OBS, and we use it at work. Work for a TV station, so I can also do lower thirds here. So, for example, if I screw something up, you'll see this, and you can. There's nothing that I'm doing here that you can't do with OBS. Although I don't know if you can do the live previews So, but I can go into here, and I've got a number of lower thirds set up. And these are built-in graphics with vMix. So, like, for example, that, and then that automatically goes out. And it shows me the animation. And then whenever it goes away, and then, you know, that's going to come up later. And I can go back here and go to that screen. So I can even do live replay. And one of the cool things about vMix is it also lets you, and I'm not doing it right now. I'm not even doing a local recording because this is mostly just testing here. But it lets you, so, you know, OBS you can record, and that's cool and all. But vMix, yeah, we'll get to the capacitating later. Capacitators. Yeah, the Stream Decks are pretty cool. I think Trisk was the one who turned me on to them, but we used them at work, at the TV station to do a lot of this stuff. And basically, we're trying to set up a live sports thing where we can run, I don't know, 10, 11 cameras remotely. So I'm kind of learning vMix so I can be the guy that sets that stuff up, in addition to doing the audio. So, but anyway, what was I saying? So, but yeah, vMix will let you record all of your sources individually. So, like, I can have this recording and this recording full resolution, and this recording full resolution, so I can actually go back, pull all those sources in, and completely remix whatever I was doing, and not have, you know, not lose any quality. Because, for example, if I recorded this, and let's say I was doing something on this, you know, zoomed in screen down here, and I wanted to show that off a little bit better. Well, unfortunately, with OBS, I could blow this up, but I'm still stuck at the resolution. With vMix, I actually have a separate file, and I could go back and basically get this image at the full resolution and not lose any quality. We have one vMix station up there. It's the stuff in the back room that we haven't set up yet. So, let me get my crawl going again. So anyway, the last step to installing the Nintendrawer. Yeah, and there's... So, vMix is like $60, and you get a year's worth of updates, but it's a perpetual license, so you own it, which is kind of nice. They have a monthly thing, and they have some pretty expensive tiers, but it's relatively cheap compared to what we do in the TV business. So, yeah, but for $60 for a year's worth of updates, it's not terrible. But anyway, so now we have the bottom RF shield, and then kind of be careful with this guy here because it does have these here on the expansion port that was never used for anything in the US. Set that aside for now. Okay, now we're down to the motherboard. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, considering, I mean, there's some things that we spend. I mean, like our encoders are probably $250,000 for the encoders we have. But anyway, the last step for you to install the Nintendrawer, if you're going to do it, is you remove your dust bunnies there. And you just push that off like so. So, and then so you guys can kind of see, you just push this in here. And there you go. She's installed. And then you just put the stuff back together. Now that's pretty much it. Super easy to do. You don't have to have any electronic skills to do this. So I'll probably be making a tutorial video on this. I mean, anybody can do this. You don't have to have any electronic skills. We haven't done anything electronically. We're about to. We're going to do capacitors, but... yeah, so the first thing is I want to kind of clean off this board here. You can see there's kind of some shmoo in places. So this right here, just for anybody who's curious about how this works, right? Okay, so this is your NES here. Let me zoom out. This here is your power supply section and your RF section. So this generates your output signal for the channel 3 or 4. And it's your power supply. Yeah, you should definitely try that on your Mister. It should work pretty well. But anyway, so, you know, this looks kind of complicated, but I promise you it's really not. So, let's go here. So this is the Rico microprocessor. So this is basically where your processing happens. Let me get a better angle on it so you can see there, okay? So this is your PPU over here. Picture processing unit. This handles all the sprites and the picture drawing. And then we've got a couple chips on here that handle like your shift registers and stuff for your controller. I believe those are up here. That's your 74 series things. This here, this guy, is the culprit. Let's see if we can get a little bit better zoom here. Of your blinking light, this is the 10 NES chip. So if you have one of these and you're having problems with it blinking occasionally, what you can do is you can go in here and you can just cut this pin right here, pin 4. Just go in there, do a little snippy snip snip. Let's see. Really need to get like a blue one of these. So, but yeah, that guy right there, you cut it, and it disables the 10 NES. So, but here's your connectors here, and so you see a bunch of capacitors on here, okay? So this is a capacitor. Sorry if I'm in frame here. Okay. Yeah, I've never had a problem just cutting it, J-Derg. I know that's a best practice, but I've done it on a bunch of consoles and never had an issue. But yeah, that's a real good. I mean, that's definitely a good point to bring up. But if you know enough to say that, then you don't need me to tell you how to do this. So, so these are capacitors, okay? And so hard to see. So, but we don't replace these. These are ceramic. So these are basically just some metal foil in there, and they're dipped in this ceramic. Okay, these guys don't go bad. They can sometimes fail, but generally the only time a ceramic cap fails is if something kills it, a lightning strike or something, because they don't have any moving parts. They don't have anything that goes bad inside of them. You know, they generally work. Just kind of going on components, if you guys don't know these things. So we've got a couple of components here. This is odd. This is a transistor here. Oh, sorry. Let me get the... There you go. Typically, they're in a different form factor, but That's the NES, so capacitors. This is a variable capacitor here. So this is actually a tuning capacitor. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I know exactly what this is, because this circuit here is an oscillator. So it makes squiggles. I was about to say, if a ceramic fails, something really bad happened to it. But you can kind of tell this is the tuning tank for probably a Colpitts oscillator here. And this generates your clock signal. So this generates clock signal, everything works off of. These are resistors here. You can measure those. You can tell those by the color bands on them. The gold band is the tolerance. So, if anybody's really interested in this stuff, we can really go through it someday. We're not doing that today. So really the only other basic component we have over here that we haven't talked too much about yet is, see this guy here? This is a diode. Okay. These are basically like one-way valves. They only let current flow one way. And then we have, this guy's kind of interesting here. This is a ferrite bead. So it basically turns this into an inductor, is what that is. So this is some sort of filter circuit here. This is probably something that goes into this guy to filter the composite signal going into there. And then in here, there's like some diodes and stuff, because it's an AC to DC power supply inside of this guy here. So this little component, 17805, it's a 7805 voltage regulator. You put 9 volts on one pin, and on the other pin you get 5 volts out, and this is what powers the entire NES. So that's basically what's under the hood of these guys here. So but let's go ahead and clean this up. You can see Snick. I don't know if Snick's still up. Snick may be in bed by now. So there's a lot of dirt and stuff on this. You didn't do anything wrong in this thing. It's a 40-year-old console. So this happens. Imagine having a computer for 40 years and never opening it up. Nobody ever opens these things up. So we're going to clean that off. We're going to try to dust it off first. I'm going to grab a paintbrush real quick, and then we're going to scrub it with some deoxit. Any questions so far? Give me just a second. I got to find my paintbrush. Okay, well, there's nothing fancy we're doing. We're just trying to get all the loose dirt off of here. The bottom of this is in really good shape. We are going to clean the 72-pin connector. Grab my Q-tips, don't I? They are somewhere over here. I think I have some over here. So we're going to remove the shield here. Now this is, let's take a closer look here. This is kind of cool because you see some surface mount circuitry in here. Where's my pointer? Okay. And this was not terribly common for this era because this stuff was really hard to do. Everything on this point is through hole. These are the only surface mount things that you'll see on the NES. But yeah, these are all resistors here. This, for example, is a surface mount capacitor. And the kind of terrible thing about these capacitors is you don't really know what value they are because they come on a reel. So the resistors you can actually read. And let me zoom in a little bit more here. You can actually see the numbers on there. And we're not going to go into codes today, but that is a 130 ohm resistor. So basically, that's the multiplier, and the first two digits are the significant digits of it. So this guy here, 181, that's 180 ohm. 472, that's a 4700, 472 zeros. And then these guys here, that's a transistor. So you can tell it's got 1, 2, 3 legs. So maybe one of these days I'll solder some of this stuff for you guys. It's kind of cool to do. But yeah, so the only thing that we're doing in here is we're going to be removing this capacitor right here. So that's this guy here. I'm going to zoom out some. And these capacitors look to be in pretty decent condition. Let me see if I can find, where's the center? Right there. X marks the spot. Okay, these look to be in pretty good condition. See, there's no leaking here. They're not bulged. So sometimes you'll see them bulge up here. Used to pretend transistors were war on the world's tripods. Here, let me show you a transistor. I've got a really cool one. I have a bag of these guys somewhere. I have these somewhere. Hang on. Okay, I don't know where they're at. I'll have to find them later. But I have got some old metal cap transistors. So, and speaking of cool things like that, where is it? Oh, it's over here. That was from math. We're not doing math right now. Let me show you guys something that you may have never seen before. This is something cool if you've never seen one of these. I've got a couple of these, but this, and I've shown this off on stream before, but this is a silicon wafer. So these are actual microchips, and this is how they're manufactured. So they come from the manufacturing plant like this. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Let's see what kind of zoom we can get. Oh, that's it. Actually, let me see here. There we go. We'll do a little bit of digital zoom on that. So this is what a chip looks like underneath. Oh, hang on. Our music stopped. So this is what a chip looks like before it actually gets put into the casing that goes into it. So I believe these are memory chips here. Some older small ones. I need to look it up and see. But yeah. You technically could cut this and get it under the microscope and bond gold wires to it and put it in a package. But I just got this strictly for the coolness factor. I've got a couple of them. So. Yeah, this one, I believe this one was actually given to me by one of my former professors. So, anyway, let's get back to this here. Okay. So we've got her kind of cleaned up. Let's get the toothbrush, some deoxit out, give her a good scrubbing. By the way, if you don't have any deoxit, you are wrong. Are you liking that physics? I thought I had a toothbrush out, but maybe I actually put it back up. That would be shocking. No, it's still out. And by the way, this is from the Nostalgia YouTube channel. Go check them out. Oh, Project Silverleaf. Yeah, sorry. I just noticed the YouTube chat. My bad. And I'll try to have chat up tomorrow. Oh, there you are. Yeah, dude. Guitar Center. Or just, you can order it on Amazon too. Obviously, I think we're going to try to mess with yours tomorrow. See if we can figure out what's going on. Audio still okay? And most of this is just flux left over from the factory, so it's not like it's a big deal. See, that's why you don't buy the WD-40 brand of deoxit. No, it shouldn't hurt it. Any electronics cleaner should be fine for that. We're just going to clean this connector here. And then at this point, it's time to start playing with the capacitors. So let's see if I actually ordered the right one this time. I'm just using a Sennheiser E6 or E895 or 835. It's just a cheap, shitty, basically an SM58. Yeah, I mean, it's just a... Or sorry, just a handheld dynamic. Yeah, it's just a beat to hell one that I got whenever I bought a bunch of microphones. I've got my 58s at home. Yeah, no condenser. I have those at home because I was going to do some saxophone recording. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And the crazy thing is, this is just like straight into vMix. Basically, I haven't put any filters or anything or any EQ. I haven't listened to it yet. Probably going to do that later in this week. But so now we're going to recap. So we've got our capacitors here. Straight from Mouser.com. Yeah, obsolete. I'm running everything in vMix. vMix handles all of this. So, I'm hoping this capacitor... dropping my taters. Dropping the taters everywhere. Okay, so this is the one we're going to start off with. So, but anyway, Mouser.com. Should get them to sponsor this stream, right? Somebody should sponsor this stream. These are really fun if you charge these up and leave them laying on the desk for somebody to come pick up. Don't do that. That's really bad. Okay, so let me grab the soldering station because I did not get that out earlier. Well, Drake, let me tell you how you get that. Wyvern, that is a fake block. We do not post fake blocks in this stream. Thank you, sir. Do not need those here. But you too can have your very own named block. All you have to do is start speedrunning Castlevania 1. Get the world record in any percent. And discover a wonderful, blessed block that brings luck to runs. Thank you for the SBD block. Okay. I think I'm going to change my tips here. Because this is like a super fine tip. And we don't really need that. Swap over to this here. Got this nice little 3D print. I think we designed and printed this on stream, if I remember right. My little tip holder. But yeah, that's all you have to do, and you too can have your very own block named after yourself. We need to have a painting stream where I paint that block, because that one hasn't been painted yet. Okay, so this looks like it'll fit in there. All right, so we got to remember. Now, unlike the ceramic capacitors, these guys are polarizing. Excuse my dirty hands, but I was working. I was installing a transmitter earlier. So, sorry. So, see, that's a negative lead. Notice that one of the leads is longer, so that's your positive lead. Okay, so we got to make sure that we get that negative lead in there, or otherwise this thing's going to explode. And then Snick wouldn't be very happy with me. Okay. I've got my muff here. Hello, TR1 Sklyan. Keep your block handy. Brings me luck. Like stalactites. Stalagmite. Well, remember stalactites, the easiest way to remember those is they hold on tight to the roof, because if they don't hold on tight, they fall down. Don't ask me how I know nothing about geology, but I know that. Just don't question things. You know, I think it'd be really fun to do a stream where I blow up a bunch of electrical components. I should bring my ether killer. You know, we could have some fun here in the shop. You know, have you guys ever seen an ether killer before? I don't have my ether killer with me. It's at home. But an ether killer has an Ethernet plug, Ethernet connector on one side, you know, Cat 5, Cat 6 connector, and a 110 volt plug on the other side. I'll let you do the math there, but yeah, we could do things here. Creeps, you wanted to be a geologist? Okay. Solder fumes, don't breathe that. Oh, Jader, that's awesome. I'm jealous. We don't really get that down here very often. Look, Luthon, I do what I want. You mean this here? This is fun, Wyvern. See the Yeah, this is a 6 kilovolt insulator. I have the capacitors that go with this. Those are the kind of capacitors that you have to short the terminals out with a wire. I don't want to shoot it. Those things are expensive. And technically that belongs to Merker. I gave it to him. Yeah, Drake's seen them. I can't show them on stream because they're like 2.5 feet tall, about that wide, and like, I don't know, 2 feet long. I'm actually, that's funny. I'm not sure what incident Luthon's talking about. I've blown up a lot of stuff. Yeah, these are these are not little. So I guess we can go ahead and zoom in here. Okay. And my solder sucker. This one I actually have to. Hey, look, I'm an RF engineer. I can open this box. Okay, cool. Looks like we might have had a little bit of leakage on this guy here. Okay, so the negative goes towards shield here. We're gonna clean that up a little bit. Look, I've blown up a lot of things over the years. You got to be a little bit more precise. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we had a little bit of schmoo leak in there. Let me see if I can clean that up some. Wait. What time are we talking about here? Look, that was shit hot sauce. Louisiana hot sauce is for bitches. Second, it was executed, not just shot. Third, I should really post that video. Who was with me? That was Wilk and was Merker out there? There was like 4 of us that went and did that. And it wasn't at a shooting range. It was literally in the middle of a dirt road out in the middle of the county. Oh, well, it wasn't in the middle of the road. We had more sense than that. It was on the side. But yeah, it was just on a dirt road out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Really need a little bit better lighting here. Okay. Put a little bit of bend on there. Okay, when we solder, see, I'm letting the connection make the joint. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit there so y'all can see that. Let me get this one in. Let me see if I can tilt this. Kind of awkward for me, but okay. Oh, cool. Dude, I would love, man, I wish we had that here. Okay. Nice, good solder joint there. Shiny. And I need my dikes. Where would those be? See, I've got a camera for that kind of stuff, Jader. I've got a nice DSLR that I've done a lot of cool pictures with, but I just we never get the northern lights down here. Exactly the ones I'm looking for, but they'll do. Don't remind me, I've been doing enough of that shit. Okay. So now we're going to start replacing the other ones. Don't think kind of weird, but okay. Let me see. So these are 100 microfarad. .3 volts, and I've got 10 volt ones. Okay. So we're going to replace that. And a big thing about doing this stuff, don't be afraid. Buy a broken system and see what you can do. Speaking of that, I've got a broken system for us to play with. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. It's this guy. Double check it, make sure. Okay. Sometimes it helps to put a little extra solder on here. Sometimes you can do one of these numbers. You know what? You were being difficult, so we can do it with this one. I'm just going to suck that extra solder off. Help if I charged it. Still need to get the stuff on this side here. Okay, polarity matters. Remember, the long lead is the positive. Short lead is a negative, and it also has the little negative symbol on it. Okay, so we're going to put that guy in there. Just like so. We want to clip those leads because you don't want them shorting out on something. Okay. Now the next one, this guy here. So these two pins. I think I've got that high enough to do a little snipping. There we go. Okay, oh, I should have pulled the capacitor out first, but that's 2.2. That's going to be one we're going to need. I believe I don't know what that's for. Okay, that's for this guy. Volts 2.2. Okay. Now these come in a package for a pick and place machine. So these actually come on reels. So, but they still have the long leg if you pull them off. So, you just pull it straight out of the package in there. Sorry if I miss some chat. It's kind of harder for me here. So once again, long leg goes through the positive. And on these boards it's marked, but you got to be careful because some boards aren't. have some flux cleaner, but the oxide will work. Okay. Uno mas. That's going to be this guy right here. He's a 50 volt, 1 microfarad. 50 volt, 1 microfarad. And this is also, there's nothing special about doing this other than owning a soldering iron. And you can get a decent soldering iron for like a good one for about $80 for a good station. You can even spend less on it and get a decent one. Oh, that's not good. Well, wait a minute. 5 volts. 5 volts shouldn't hurt that. NES runs on 5 volts. What do the data lines run? I'm going to say I don't believe you on that one. I could be wrong. Oh, does the chip have a regulator built into it? But that doesn't make any sense because there's no... And once again, I'm not an expert on this, but... So it's these two here. When I say I don't believe you, I'm not saying that I don't believe that the cart fried the NES. I've heard of that happening, but that I'm not sure of. I'll have to look that up. Because I was under the impression that the whole damn thing... Yeah. Because you've got to have... Because you can't just have a voltage just randomly floating around. It has to come from somewhere. You know what? Try an AI. Try Grok or Chat GPT or something. Yeah, Google is useless. Google is completely useless for finding stuff now. Well, the thing about AI search, and what people just don't understand, and you guys are all smart, I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about, the population in general. It's a tool. Only Cat Fud, welcome in. That's a hell of a first time chat. Thank you for taking my side. Jaderg is an X user. We don't. He uses the X. and sings its virtues. We don't defend him here. But yeah, I because there's only 5 volts coming out. I mean, like this is the power supply right here, and that's only one pin. But I'm not an expert on the Ricos, so I. Could they have a DC to DC converter in there? And I'm scratching my head where 5 volts would hurt. I don't, unless you like dump 5 volts on the ground rail. Because basically every, I want to know what exactly happened here. Well, it would. Or more likely it would pop your flash card. Okay. Sorry, it's kind of hard to... I need to get a video monitor over here, but... Look, it's a work in progress. I'm new to vMix, and... I don't know. Do you guys like this kind of stuff? Do you like the shop streams? Plug the WRAM from the one to the other and it fixed it? Yeah. I'm just wondering if it... What flash cart was it? Oh, an early model EverDrive N8 Pro. Hey, Frank of Most Trades, how's it going? We could talk for hours about the enshittification of the internet and dead internet theory. But it's true. You know, at one point I thought that was... something that was just me. Let me get that into frame there. Yeah, if you've got that, sure, I'd do a teardown on it. I mean, hell, I might even sacrifice a console to it. That'd give me a good excuse to learn the rest of the architecture. Okay, so we're gonna clean this up here, because I don't think I cleaned this up. Okay, well, let's put the RF cover back on. I'm done with the soldering iron, so what you want to do when you're done with the soldering iron for the day? So we want to tin the tip. Just means putting a lot of solder on it. A nice big blob of solder. Clean it off in my muff. And then I like to put just a little bit, and I've already turned the iron off. Just keep it in there, it keeps it from corroding. And that's that. Okay, we have recapacitated this thing. While I've got this out and I've got better access, I'm going to clean these off a little bit. Zoom in there. By the way, if you are interested in vMix, you can download a demo of it for free on their website. I should get them to sponsor the stream. That'd be actually really funny. Go begging them for a free copy or something. Not that I can't afford it, but... So... But luckily, I will never lose my job to AI. My job is, what I do for a living is pretty damn secure. Even if the TV business goes tits up. Cool thing about being an RF engineer is somebody will always be using those frequencies. So, no. What am I doing wrong here? Go. Ah, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, well, let's power this guy up. Yeah, not until the Cylon, once the Cylons show up. Let me see if I have my, this what I'm looking for. The USS Prometheus. Actually, no, I did not. Let's see here. Radio compass indicator. We've got a benchy. Well, I was looking for this guy here. Just a little external. But no, I absolutely did not know that. You can play some poker. Who wants to play some Texas Hold'em? Okay. Okay. Well, wait a minute. So is... Wait a minute. Bally's the same that makes the pinball machines? I don't know if I've ever made... Am I high? So, somebody help me out there. Kenshin! Thank you so much for the huge raid. CV4PB raid. What category? Dude, congratulations. Kenshin and Raiders, welcome in. I am Aramis Belmont, the world's worst Castlevania speedrunner. Today, we are working on a NES. We just got done recapping it, and we're installing the new, well, it's not really new anymore, but the Nintendrawer replacement 72-pin connector and drawer. Holy shit, dude. Congratulations. So we're replacing old capacitors on here. I have too much fun with those. Oh yeah, get the bar going again. Let me reframe that. Yeah, I didn't know that the Bally's casino was the same. I have never made that connection. I feel pretty stupid. Oh, Luthon's a little butthurt right now. But he is in here somewhere. I gave him a little bit of PTSD. But anyway, let's fire this bad boy up and see if she chooches. Shall we? Okay. Let me remove that just so that we've got it kind of out of the frame. Okay, so this is just my little test. I just pulled this out of the NES. It was bad. And somewhere I have a test card. Oh, yeah. This piece of shit here. So... this one may not work. I think this might have been the one I pulled out of Freeland's console, which that is going to get worked on soon. I guess I need to tear apart another NES and get the controller ports and stuff out of it. Okay. Turn on my SpongeBob TV here. All right. I probably don't have any of the sound commands working here. I'm not running OBS. I'm actually running vMix right now. So cool. We're in business here. Now we just got to finish cleaning it and put it back together. So before we go too far reassembling, how much are they? Go look on eBay. I'm going to blow this out real quick. Give me just a second, because there's a bunch of dust bunnies and stuff in here. It's just going to be quicker that way. Oh, well, welcome back, J-Dirg. Okay, so let's do a little cleaning here. We probably want to pull this out. Let's go ahead and pull it out. Looking at the NES, so motherboard for 150, otherwise they're 400 to 1,000. Wow. So looking at the NES schematic, there are only 2 pins that go from the cartridge directly to the VRAM and don't go to any other chip. That's a write enable and chip select line. Yeah, those should be 0 to 5 volts. Yeah, I don't think I think it may have sent more than 5 volts. So inside of the EverDrive is definitely going to be some sort of power supply, because those guys run on... You know what? Fuck it. Let's open an EverDrive. Well, honestly, I don't know how any of that works. There's definitely been like a Coke or something spilled in here. Yeah, you did. Yep, we have recapacitated. Now we have installed that. Oh, wrong one. And we've done the final testing. So we're going to clean this up here because this has got shmoo everywhere. We'll resume. So we'll get my... But yeah, well, are those pins tied together in any way? I wouldn't think so. And unfortunately, these are pretty sealed. We're gonna try to get in there. Well, what about the WRAM? I guess I could have retro-brighted these guys too. Okay, they don't share a line. Well, that's probably why I didn't fry it. I mean, durr. Look at me stating the obvious here. I am a smart. Yeah, I honestly don't know much about the cartridge architecture. Which I know is bad. But I'll tell you what, we'll open my EverDrive up here in a minute. Guess I can show you what I'm doing. I'm trying to get this Coke that's been spilled. Or whatever the hell. Still, not the worst Nintendo ever seen by far. So back when I used to repair these for a local store, we're actually gonna wipe that down. I'm being smart. I'm gonna stick my head in the other room real quick. Here we go. I think it'd be cool just to fire it up and see what it does. Because I mean, one of the things we could do immediately is just we could disable those pins. You know what? Fuck Christmas. We're not doing that. Hang on. Why not? I've got a few spare NESs. A little bit of spray away. This is good stuff here. All right, dude. I'll be here. By the way, I hope to start earlier tomorrow. go ahead and remove this too. We'll go ahead and put this back. Just because I want to get around this thing. Hey, not a Time Lord, how's it going? Didn't quite get all that screw away from here either. Yeah, that'll be okay. Doing here, we got those in. The guy just kind of rotates in place. Yeah, J-Dirg was just talking about that, dude. I ain't got shit here. I guess I could go outside and look. Oh man, I am ready for this time of year to be over with. I hate this time of year. Let's start putting her all back together, shall we? Okay, so the first thing we need, we're going to clean some of this stuff as it goes back in. We need to reassemble the bottom RF shield. I swear, Drake, you have the worst technology issues of almost anyone I've ever met. Okay. We're going to take our Nintendrawer assembly motherboard. It's very important to not bend this part here. It's really easy to do if you're not paying attention, or to short those pins out. So we want to make sure that goes in there. And here, let me see if I can. Slightly wider angle there. Okay, so the things we got to be conscious of here is how all of this fits back together. So once this is in place, you want to go ahead and put your connectors back on. Well, that kind of explains it. Okay, power connector, self-explanatory, only goes one way, goes one place. Okay, now these other two, your second player goes here. And your first player goes up front. Now this whole assembly just kind of fits in here. Got to do some finagling to get it to fit correctly, but make sure our wires are not on those posts like that was, and be careful because that RF shield will cut you. Okay, make sure everything's down there, out of the way. Okay, looking good. Now we can start replacing screws. I know what I'm buying you for Christmas then. Okay, so we've got all of our screws in here. And these are all the same basically. So I have these screws left over from obsolete currency last time. Dump them all in here. Right one's in. That one doesn't go in yet because we've got to put this on as well. I don't know if Red Dragon has $30 keyboards. I have a Red Dragon as my daily driver, and I love it. Probably getting time to replace it, but I've had the damn thing for I don't know how long. Like 4 years at this point. Oh, sweet. Sorry about that. I think it's pretty overcast here. I wouldn't even go outside and try to see it. I think those screws are good there. I'm going to wipe this down now. These generally aren't really hard to clean. You just got to get the dust off of them. This one certainly has a lot of dust on it. I've cleaned far worse. I had a cockroach special in 64 come in once, and I was like, nope. We're not doing this. Okay. I want to make sure that we're not pinching any cables. Ah, damn it, I forgot to go by the store. I'm in such a rush to get over here. I don't need to eat breakfast anyway. Oh, I haven't watched that yet. Like I said, I haven't been in my Discord in a bit. Been on Discord, period. But I've been having a real shitty time lately. I needed things, Drake. I needed toothpaste. I needed cheese for my omelet in the morning. But now I'm gonna starve because I won't have cheese. Yeah, I've actually thought about doing a cooking stream, although I don't know if anybody would want to watch that. Well, I meant to get over here a lot earlier, but I had to do some stuff for actually Snick's boss. Yeah, I have never really seen good auroras. You know what I really want to catch is sprites. I would love to see sprites. And I've got a friend that hunts for stuff like that. But like, I storm chase. He storm chases, but he's going out looking for lightning shots, long range stuff, and, you know, stuff like that. And me, I want to be, 100 feet from the tornado. So we have kind of different goals, but sometimes we'll go out together. All right, before I go any further, which is really just putting the top back together, excuse me, let's make sure she chooches. You know, I should put a points redeem where you can add something to the ticker at the bottom. All right, final testing. Will it blend? Try the trusty purple controller. Where's my shitbox? $8 copy of Mario 3. It works, but I don't apparently. Exactly how that's supposed to go, but super rusty. Uh-oh, is that Chakra? All right, Not a Time Lord. It's good to see you. Have a good night. We're almost done here anyway. Anyway, Chakra, welcome in. How are you doing, dude? I am terrible at this game, right? Look at that lag. Look at that lag. I don't know how I feel about the concave buttons here, but so yeah, Shocker. Oh, Shocker! Check this out. I built a Atomic Purple NES controller. Yeah, we've got the Nintendrawer installed. I'm not even going to try to go for the flower. I can zoom out a little bit. Uh-oh. More rusty at my hands. I much prefer having fire flower here, but hell. That's okay. Yeah, I'll show you this Atomic Purple case Shocker whenever we get done here. You know what? Screw it. Oh, okay, I disagree. Doesn't matter, we'll get through it. Yeah, we need to hang out sometime, Drake, and jam. I need to fix my snare, though. Don't need it. I don't know. It's not triggering right, so it's probably fucking broken again. There we go. Well, thanks, J-Dirk. Good. I'm kind of happy with how this turned out. Ah, no, wrong one. I missed it. Yeah, arcade cabs, you really, especially when you're working with the CRTs, you definitely get a pretty good learning. Yeah, dude, I miss the days of having schematics for stuff. Oh, Drake, you're going to miss the end of the game. Oh no, you can go to bed, dude. I beat this all the time. Ooh, almost lost Fire Flower there. That would be bad. As long as I don't die in Bowser's Castle, we'll be okay. Yay, Auto Scroller City. Ooh, yep. I zapped myself with 500 volts working on a PV tube amp once. Not discharging the caps. Wow. I got this first time last night. Oh, what's going on here? Boo. Boo. Hiss. There you go, Drake. It was a sub 20. That's got to be worth something, right? But yeah, I was working on a PV, and I'd let it set. And most modern tube amps have discharge circuits. This one didn't. And I learned that the hard way. 500 volts through your arms. Not the most pleasant of experiences. So. Now, the stuff I work on at work, like I work with like 35 kilovolts now. And you touch that in the wrong place, and they'll be cleaning you up with a mop. When you have parts that look like this, all right, Drake, have a good one. See, J-Dirk knows. Either you know or you don't know. This was, I was showing this off earlier. Yeah, this is just the insulator for it. You should see the fucking capacitor. It's about as big as this table. Yeah, that's exact. Not the high voltage stuff, but this is definitely. Man, I've got some insulators. I ought to show those off sometimes. I've got some like 12 kV power line insulators. Yep, the anode. There we go. Now, I'm curious. So this is the Nintendrawer, how it works. Chakra, by the way. So when you pull it out, then it comes out. So you press it in. It goes in just like that. Yeah, because they will absolutely. Yeah, I'll tell you what, J-Dirk. We'll crack this guy open here in just a second. So I had a problem with Obsolete's NES that we did yesterday. And I want to see, I think it's got a bad PPU. But I want to see if the Nintendrawer actually caused, nope. So the sprites are good here. Does the stream quality look okay for you guys? It seemed okay on my playback, but I'll have to go check it out. I'm glad it sounds fine. I'm using a cheap, shitty Sennheiser mic. Kind of hard to see the pixel. I'm on my SpongeBob TV. Guess we'll have to see the DLC. Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not dissing Sennheiser. This is a E9 or 835, and I don't like this microphone. I've never liked it. Oh no, J-Dirk, that sucks. Anyway, let me finish putting this thing. No, let me finish putting this thing together real quick. Oh, you guys couldn't even see what I was doing. Oops. So we're almost done here. We just need to put the top shell back on. I'm going to set this aside for now because I do want to do something with it. I use whatever the fuck I have laying around. On my main stream, when I'm streaming in the streaming room, I use it's an Audio Deutschland large diaphragm condenser mic that I picked up back when I used to run my studio. It's a kind of off-brand, but they're still like, it was like a $400 microphone. But I bought it used, and I've always liked the thing. It's like a 421 kind of. But I've got an RE20, which is like a fucking, that's the like one of the big standard expensive mics. It's okay. I'm not like, I'm 6 in one, half a dozen the other. This over here is just whatever the fuck I have laying around at the shop at the time. Sometimes it's an SM58. Sometimes it's an Audix OM2. I'm not too picky on it. It's just a. I'll show you. Sennheiser 835. Basically your SM58. I've got a Behringer Beta 58 clone that I've used before on stream, which those are actually surprisingly good mics for $20. Really, and the funny thing is, this one here, this is no filters. I don't even have a noise filter on this damn thing, and everybody says it's good. So this is just, it's just a raw microphone. Anyway, we got one more thing to do here. So I did retro bright on this, but we're going to replace his busted door, and if he doesn't like it, I'll just swap it out with another one I've got. Oh, Chakra, if you're still around, let me know. I'll show you that very pretty. I need a little screwdriver here. Those really flatheads? Looks like a flathead. Try one. Must be a flathead, okay. Okay. Yeah, let me show you this real quick before I get into this. You will appreciate this. But this is going to be, I'm waiting on my replacement Nintendrawer to come in because I had one that failed. It was bad right out of the box, unfortunately. So, but we're going to be building this. Let me turn off the... Ain't she a beaut? And I've got another one of those for... I should have added a few more of those. Anyway, where was I? Right. We were taking this apart. And if anybody's curious how you replace the door on the NES, this is how you do it. This is how we do it. We're going to bend this piece back into place. Retro Rocket. Went to the crapper. Oh, it's probably because I'm further away from the mic. Is that better? Oh, the music? Yeah, I haven't seen you around in a while. It's got rain in the background, if that's what you're referring to. Okay, I think we got that sufficiently bent back into place. Is it the rain that you hear in the background? So yeah, how have you been, Retro Rocket? Yeah, we're still doing the thing here. We're trying out vMix. I've given up OBS forever, not really, but I had to learn it for work, so I figure. But yeah, it's almost like this has been ripped out at one point. How do I... Okay, so I have to remove these two here. Okay. And that piece comes off. And you can tell the retro bright, and retro brighting is basically you just dump this thing in hydrogen peroxide. And put it under a UV light. Do a little bit of cleaning there too. Yeah, this has definitely been abused. Okay, is it still making the weird sounds? Anybody else hearing weird sounds? Can you hear me? Looks like we're still on. Am I the weird sound? I could be the weird sound. Oh, it's gone now? Okay. Let me listen to that. Retro Rocket. Oh, okay. To the crapper. Yeah, I'm not hearing that on my end at all. That's kind of crazy. Not that I didn't believe you, but that's super weird. I wonder what was causing that. All right, J Dirk, as soon as I get this thing put back together, we'll crack open the old EverDrive real quick, and then I'm going to call it a night. Oh, I might play a little frog for Retro Rocket. Well, vMix is not lightweight, and this is an old work computer that I saved from the trash bin. So there's a non-zero possibility that there's an issue there. And I'm running vMix. I'm also live streaming to YouTube at the same time. Which, by the way, if you guys don't follow my YouTube, please go do so. I mean, you don't have to, but it'd be kind of cool. It'd be cool if you did. Oh, cool. I just got your messages there, Sinister Drake, if you're still here. Okay, and then we put that little guy in there. Just got to show you the assembly process here. Oh, thanks for the follow. Maybe one of these days I'll do something over there with it. I do have some of like my aviation stuff and some rocketry stuff. And 6 more screws. Almost as good as new. Let's see if I can clean that up a little bit. Sticker residue off of there. It's not perfect, but let's see if I can get that off. All right. This thing was definitely dropped. I mean, I was dropped on my head when I was a kid multiple times, so. Bag of screws. So I had this thing taken apart when I was retro riding it, so. And when you're putting these screws in, you definitely don't want to over torque them. When you're tightening them down, definitely fingertip. And I like to back them out. Do you hear that? Chakra, do not. The Tyson is not to be trusted. It's almost like this thing was melted or something. Look at that. If I can. and get it to stay there for just a second. I might be able to apply some heat or something there. Have to live with that for now. I might. Yeah. Man, I think I can get that. A hair. Yeah, not gonna be able to get that. Chakra, thank you for doing the needful. Oh, hell, it's Astro Creep. What's going on, my dude? Yeah, this is definitely the weed compartment. No, that's the back of the PS2. All right, there we go. Oh, that's the... Wonder what was rattling. That was the connector. So there we go. Nintendrawer modded Nintendo. I think the old Snick's going to be happy with that. All right, let's crack open the old EverDrive, shall we? We're gonna talk a little bit about that, and then that's not the EverDrive. That's the EverDrive. I've never actually opened this thing up before, so... Okay. So this is the inside of the EverDrive. So, we've got our FPGA chip. I'm assuming these are probably level shifters. And I'm looking for a power supply. So we're going to see a power supply. See, 1.2 volts, 3.3 volts. Okay, let me zoom in here. Okay. Now, I don't know about the older one. This is not the Pro. But we can see over here. So the way that they get their voltage, these are just voltage regulators here. So your 1.2 volts is going to be probably for this guy here, the Cyclone, which is an FPGA. And then your 3v3 is probably for your SRAM here. 3v3 is 3.3 volts. So the SRAM there. That's probably a debug port. Oh, sorry. So this is probably your debug header here, I would assume. And then I'm not sure what this is. This is some sort of, I would guess some sort of power regulation circuitry or something. Or maybe that's part of the battery. Yeah, this is your power supply down here, and I had expected to see. I actually expected to see a DC to DC power supply, but what's going on here? These are just voltage regulators, so we're feeding these guys with 5 volts. Also, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the soldering job on these guys, but you're feeding. So if I were to hook this up and take this, maybe up here. It doesn't look like much of an audio circuit though. There's only one capacitor, but I honestly don't know. But yeah, so this is what gives your other chips. They're 3.3 and 1.2 volts. And like if there were a DC to DC power supply, for example, when those fail, a lot of times they fail high. And those guys are usually running, I mean, anywhere between 50 and 100 volts. Even on the smaller, basically a boost buck converter is what they are. But this is interesting that this is not using a DC to DC power supply, but just using a voltage regulator, because these are much more inefficient than a DC to DC power supply. But a DC to DC power supply is actually kind of a misnomer, because it's really a DC to AC to AC to DC power supply. You're basically converting DC into AC, stepping it up or down, and then transforming it back into DC. So let's look at the other side of this, see if there's anything interesting. There are interesting things here. Okay. So we have this here. This guy. I don't know if this is a SAW or just a crystal at 50 megahertz. Very well might be a SAW. So, there's the tank. Or that's going to be for your FPGA. And then the rest of this here. And like I said, I don't have the schematics for this or anything, but these are more likely just DC filter caps for your FPGAs and stuff. They just put them on the back side of the board. But yeah, these are these big guys here. These 1208 packages are just going to be your filter caps for for the DC supply for your FPGA and other assorted chips. Yeah, this is probably your programming port over here / test port. I wouldn't. Oh no, it's bet some money. But yeah, that's the inside of an EverDrive. So this is, for what it's worth, board revision 1.4N. So 2013, this is an older one. I'm assuming, J-Derg, those that probably go to these guys here, these level shifters. I'm almost certain these are level shifters. I don't know. Let's take a look. Oh, here, somebody else look that up. My eyes are. So look up what a LVT 16224 5. Is that an 8 or a B? 5B, I think. Yeah, look up what that thing is. But I don't see how a level shifter could fail, because these shift up. It's a transceiver, yeah. So that's a level shifter. So what that does is it takes the 5 volts that the NES works with and changes it into either 3v3 or 1.2 volts, whatever these guys are here. Yeah, well, it is. It's got a battery, you know. Yeah, I don't see anything inside. You may have an older revision that does have a DC to DC power supply or something else. But I don't see anything in here immediately obvious that would cause those issues. Well, it's a shame. Let me know if you ever find that. Yeah, that's the inside of an EverDrive. Oh shit! It's almost 1 o'clock. Well, not almost 1 o'clock, but we're getting there. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow at an earlier time, and we are going to be building this guy here. We're going to do a Game Boy Advance SP, and I'm going to be reshelling it, and we'll be doing an IPS mod on it. Well, thanks, dude. It's nothing. I mean, really, it's nothing super special. The camera up here, that's just a original iPhone SE. And I'm using an app called Camo to get it into over to the desktop, and that goes straight into vMix. And my top cam, you know, this guy here is just a it's just a Sony HDX 150, 160. Just a handheld camcorder I'm running HDMI in. And then I've just got a super cheap AV2 HDMI that I'm capturing the video game with and upscaling it, so whatever that is. So it's a, you know, and I'm just, you know, all this stuff here I built in vMix about 30 minutes before the stream started. And then I'll go over here and there goes the lower thirds I've put together for this. And I just, you know, vMix does this automatically. You just put in the information and decide what you want, and it, hey-o! Yeah, so. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll have some more stuff tomorrow. There's some scoreboard stuff I might play with, maybe some transitions and stuff, but yeah, well, that's going to be it for me tonight. Like I said, I'll try to be here a little earlier tomorrow, and we'll build that and maybe start on the I've got another guy I'm building a Game Boy Color for. Yeah, post some pictures of that. I want to see that. And if there's something you guys want to see me do on the stream, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. You know, if there's any particular mods or something you... Oh, there's one other thing we can take apart. Forgot about this. Oh, damn, I didn't even show this off. I got this the other day. I think I only paid $20 for it too. But I have this. And we can crack it open and see why it don't worky. Ugh. Yeah, the no working. But for a whopping $8, we can see if we can make it working. Or blow it up, one of the two. So, anyway, well, thanks for hanging out, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you got some value from this. Maybe you learned a little something. Maybe it made somebody want to go do this on their own. So, but yeah, that's my time. And I think we're going to call it here. I will see you guys next time. How do I stop stream? I think this button.